All right. Happy Sunday, happy Sunday, happy Sunday. It is Coach Lee, your productivity and accountability coach, here to help you. Okay, I think we're live. All right. Happy Sunday, happy Sunday, happy Sunday. It's Coach Lee, your productivity and accountability coach, here to help you to create a life that your career can't destroy. And respectfully, I just want to tell you that you've been calling survival success. Change, we got to do something differently. And so if you think that survival is success, this is for you. If you're not sure if that applies to you and what you've been doing in life, this also is for you. And so we're going to tap in and we're going to have this conversation. And I want you to understand that being exhausted all the time is in no way, shape, or form the badge of honor. It's not the whatever it is you've been calling it, it ain't that. It's not that. It's not. And so we're going to tap in and we're going to have this conversation. And hopefully throughout this, you can understand and start redefining what success actually means. Because for so many attorneys and those in the legal profession especially, we've come to normalize exhaustion, and we mistake the fact that we're running off of coffee, energy drinks, and fueled by all of those things achievement. As a person who don't drink coffee, I don't like the smell of it, who doesn't do energy drinks, I do still to this day, like for the longest, I never even did pre-workout and working out. But maybe about 10 years ago, I started, and a serving size is a scoop. I'm still at half a scoop of said pre-workout. And when I first started, I was at like a quarter of a scoop. So as a person who's thriving off natural energy over here, I want you to understand that being tired and being exhausted is in no way, shape, or form normal. And though I'm in no way, shape, or form advocating for you to do this, I wake up at 2:30 in the morning. And so if I'm able to do all of this off of this natural energy and natural vibes, I want you to understand that survival mode is addictive. So let's look at that and let's break that down. The constant feeling or the constant need for urgency creates this false sense of productivity. And I get it, productivity and accountability coach here talking about productivity, obviously. But I want to talk about where it is that you're struggling, because you're in this survival mode. You're like a hamster on a wheel, and you're going round and around, and you're wondering why you're never getting to the end goal, to the end deadline. It's because of this false sense of productivity that you've created. And like right before this, like 15, 20 minutes before this, I just got off a coaching consult call for a new client that I'm going to be signing. And she was talking about, and in the course of our conversation, we were kind of talking about, bringing work home, working late, how she left work the other day early for a doctor's appointment or a dentist appointment, and then got home and felt guilty about the fact that she left the firm that she owns. She's the boss, and hadn't done enough work. And so she found herself texting a client at 11 p.m. No, that's not success. You literally worked and paid the price to be the boss. Why? So if you find yourself constantly reacting to other people, always feeling behind, never feeling like you've finished or that you've done enough, or just overall equating the fact that I'm exhausted to mean that you've accomplished something and you've done something, this live is for you. Because when we look at it and we really think about survival mode, we have to understand that survival mode is like the last resort. There are going to be times, because y'all know, anti-hustle and grind, not anti-hard work. Sometimes you have to work hard. You've got a trial coming up. For example, me, I'm going on vacation this week, so I have to work hard to make sure that everything is done. I started the prep last week, but tomorrow I'm going to go to the jail, see some clients, make sure that they're all good, and then make sure that like my to-do list and all the things are settled. I got the dockets for the week, and I've confirmed that I don't have court on any of the days that I'm scheduled to be off. I have to work hard to prepare to be off for 3 days. Yeah, to prepare to be off for 3 days. And that's fine, because when I'm off, though I might think about them, like something probably going to trigger me and have a thought about them, I'm not checking no emails. I'm not calling them. Don't look for me. I'm in another country. Survival mode is not, it's not it. And for some reason, we found that, and if you're not an attorney and you're resonating with this, let me know like what field you work in or what you do and how this translates across there. But We get so addicted to success, to the accolades, to winning the trials, to winning the motions, to proving the judge wrong, to proving the state wrong, especially criminal defense attorney here. Sorry, that we get so addicted to that we're looking for the next rush and the next high. But when are you actually sitting in and celebrating the work that you've done to get to this point? And so that brings me to the next point of understanding and really being able to identify and think about busyness. This constant need to perform, to be chronically busy, has a cost. Just like the same way that you've been living in this survival mode, thinking that's where you're supposed to be and what you're supposed to be doing, when it comes to this chronic state of busyness and always being on, there is a cost to that. What does that cost look like? It looks like you suffering. Let me ask you this. What is your career currently costing you? If you're willing to be vulnerable and answer it, feel free to drop your answer below, whether you're watching it live or on the replay. But if you're willing to be vulnerable and really answer that question for yourself, what is your career currently costing you? Is it costing you your relationships? Is it costing you your peace? Is it costing you your health? Is it costing you your joy? Is it costing you your ability to show up and to be present? And I did a post last week, I think it was on Friday, or maybe it was Thursday, because I'm doing this 10-day series on 10 unwritten rules that every lawyer needs to break. And I think it was rule number 4 about identity. And so is your career currently costing you your identity? Because in that post, I was talking about how some people have just come to identify as being this lawyer, this attorney, being this profession. But when the emails stop, or when you stop checking them, when the phone calls stop, when you leave work for the day, when you clock out, and when you're home or away from the office, who are you? And so when you think about what your career is costing you, is it costing you your identity? Is the way in which you're showing up by chronically being busy, never feeling like you can be off, never actually taking off, in addition to it costing you your relationships, your health, your peace, your ability to show up, to be present, your joy, your health, all of that? What else is it costing you? Is it costing you your identity? Is it costing you the person that you were before you got into this career? Because I don't know anybody who came into the profession of wanting to be an attorney or becoming an attorney and did it for the sake of losing themselves in it. Many came in for altruistic reasons, come in for good reasons, wanting to change and shape the future generations, all that kind of stuff. For the money, whatever. But where in that has your identity now become, I'm an attorney? Because when people ask you, who are you or what do you do? I get the natural response is, I'm an attorney, I'm a lawyer. Like, I get that being the natural response. But you're more than that as well, aren't you? And are you willing to show up in the other identities that you have, or are you going to allow law, being an attorney, to be the all-encompassing identity that you are, and as a result of that, it bleeds into everything that you do, so that you can never take that hat off and be a mom, a wife, a sister, a aunt, a godmom, a daughter, a granddaughter, to be an athlete, to be a person who enjoys reading, working out, running, going for walks, doing puzzles, whatever it is that you enjoy. Are you going to allow your identity to be so encompassed that because I'm so busy because I'm an attorney. I'm so busy, I'm chronically stressed out, overwhelmed, and all of this because I'm a lawyer? Are you going to allow your identity, are you going to allow your career to cost you who you were before you became this career? Because you didn't become, maybe you did. I don't believe your intention in becoming an attorney was to become an attorney. And by that I mean the identity. Like, yes, you set out to have a career, a job, work in this profession. But did you expect that to become the all-encompassing identity of who you are? For many of you, I don't think that was the answer. And so, is this sustainable? If you can think about and honestly answer for yourself, whether you just write it down for yourself or you mentally think about it, what this career is costing you, when you think about that, does success feel sustainable? Do you think you can maintain that? The things that is currently costing you, if you keep losing that, or if the things that have already been lost, if you maintain that and never get those back, is that sustainable for you? I don't think it is. And I don't even know what it is that you lost. But if you lost yourself, that was too much right there. Let alone relationships, friendships, your health, your peace, your joy. Like, let alone that. If you lost yourself, you lost too much already. And so what I want you to next understand is that sustainable success requires a different system. What you're doing now is not working. And I get you've read all the self-help books, you've listened to the podcast, you've done all these different things, but they don't work for you. Because you're listening to and reading from people who are speaking from a different space. And this is nothing against them, because I love me a good personal development book podcast. I was listening to a podcast before I pushed play over here. Baby girl is in the trenches with y'all. Full-time criminal defense attorney still. Doing this coaching business. I still, like I said, I wake up at 2:30, and I'm not advocating that for y'all, but like, I'm a morning person, and I get 2:30 in the morning to crack a dawn. I get all that, but I go to bed at 8:30, 9 o'clock. Nonetheless, I'm in the trenches with you. I'm living this life with you. I just said I gotta go to the jail tomorrow to go see my clients. I also got a hair appointment tomorrow during lunch. So I'm balancing all of this across that while preparing for vacation. I just said before I hopped on here live, I had a coaching consult call for a new client that I'm going to be onboarding. So once I get off this live, I got to send her documents and send her the stuff that she needs to officially get signed up. And then I'm supposed to be meeting with my accountability partner at 4. We got a call for the retreat tonight at 6. Somewhere in the midst of that, I'm going to eat, because right now I've been sitting at this computer and this is all I've drank. It's half a smoothie. And I know it's 2 o'clock. But I've washed my hair today. I've gone for a run. I've done a stretch workout. I showered and washed my hair. And I've done some other co-working tasks. And I've done some other things. Sustainable success requires different systems. What works for them, and the reason it hasn't worked for you, is because it's not built for you. You've tried time blocking. Okay. You've tried using planners. Okay. You've tried getting up early. Okay. You've tried staying late. Okay. You've tried not bringing work home. Okay. You've even tried bringing work home to see if that solved it. Staying late to work, coming in early, all of those things, you've tried it. And so you might think that all those things are the answer. And I'm not saying that some combination of them might not be. But the answer isn't specifically waking up earlier. The answer isn't specifically working harder. The answer isn't simply, I need more discipline. Because you ain't getting to this career and into this field without discipline. Studying for the LSAT, going through 3 years of law school if you went full-time, or 4 years if you went part-time. Studying for taking and passing the bar exam, whether that was on the first try or not. And honestly, if it wasn't on the first try, having to do it again. Being disciplined to show up and put in the work, that's not your problem. You don't become an attorney by lacking discipline. Like, you don't just wake up one day and say, I want to become an attorney. I mean, you can, but you still got to go to 3 years of law school. You still got to study for and take the bar exam. Like, I get that, you know, like Kim Kardashian, she was like, I'm going to be an attorney. But as you can see, she still has to, I think she actually went to law school, and right now she's still trying to study for and pass the bar exam. She had a bright idea to do it, but it still takes work. So discipline isn't your problem. Lack of discipline isn't it. I don't know why you think that, because, and I get it. Coming from being like straight A student, growing up all through high school, going to college, being an AB student, and then realizing in law school that, you know what, C's might actually be okay. Because all of us here is smart in some regard. We had to do the work to get here. So we've all been disciplined to get here. What the answer is when it comes to having success that is sustainable is a system that is different. You need something that's intentionally designed for you. You need systems that protect your life outside of work. And so I'm Coach Lee, your productivity and accountability coach, here to help you to create a life that your career can't destroy. Coming from someone who's still actively in the trenches, and I have no plans of getting out of the trenches. This will be 13 years in the game. I love what I do as an attorney, and this coaching business I stumbled into because for years people were like, you're motivating, you're encouraging, you should be a life coach. How do you do all these things? And I'm like, what are y'all talking about? Because I found and created systems that's worked for me. I've taken the things that I've heard, that I've read, and figured out what parts of that don't work and then created the adaptations that I needed to make them work for me. This is the work that I help my clients do. I help them to figure out what worked for you in the past, what hasn't worked for you, and let's figure out why this did work, why this didn't work, and ultimately get to and create and find the system that does work for you. I want you to be sick and tired of surviving your career in the way that you've been doing it. I want you to be so sick and tired of being stressed out, overwhelmed, burnt out, overworked, maybe underpaid, that you know and you decide that something has to be different, because it does. But the only way that something is going to be different is if you make the choice that you want different. And if you're feeling that way, or if you're curious about the thought of feeling that way, it might be time for you to create a system that actually allows you to enjoy the life that you got into this profession to live. That allows you to actually live your life. So that it's the weekend and you're not dreading going to work on Monday. I'm looking forward to going to work. Not only because I only got to be there for 2 days, so I'm going to be on vacation, but because I actually like my job. I like the people that I work with too, for the most part, most of the time. But like, I actually like my job because I've created a life to where I go to work, I come home. I use my lunch breaks to work my business. You give me a lunch break, I'm taking my lunch break. And what I do on my lunch break is work this business. But if you are tired or even sick and tired of just surviving in the career that you've worked so hard to have, whether you are an attorney or not, whatever career that you have, even if you're an entrepreneur, you worked hard to get here. Even if you woke up one day and on a whim was like, I'm going to apply for this job, you got it. You there. You still there. So what about your life needs to shift and needs to change so that you can stop living in and they're calling survival and survival mode success? I want you to have real success, and real success is sustainable. Real success is something that you can have longevity in. Real success isn't something that costs you your peace of mind. It doesn't cost you your joy. It doesn't cost you to sacrifice time with family, friends, your relationships. Real success that is sustainable is something that in the long run and long game, it works. It requires you doing something different. I get that you've shown up and you've done all the things. But showing up and doing all the things has cost you what? Because at what cost? At what cost are you willing to continue to be this person and to do these things? At what cost are you going to stay where you are? Because the cost should never be at the cost of yourself. It should never be at the expense of yourself. And so what I really want you to understand, what I really want you to believe, what I really want you to know at this point, in all honesty, is that change is possible. But the only way that you're going to get something differently is to do something differently. And you can DM me the word audit, head to the link in bio, book your call for your pre-personalized productivity audit. Because this was meant to be an honest conversation to help you to start thinking about and exposing why survival mode isn't the recipe for success, but what should be done instead. And so if you're ready to go to that what should we do instead part, let's figure out what's keeping you stuck in this survival mode. And instead, let's help you to build a better way forward. Because what you are doing is not working. What you are doing has not worked. But there is something out there that will work for you. Having one-on-one, personalized, customized attention to help you define and create the work-life balance and the life that you want. By helping you define and understand what it is that works for you. You've been calling success survival. You've been calling survival success, and it's time that we change that. It's time that we have real success. Because I get it, survival mode can be addictive. But with survival mode being addictive, there comes the hidden cost of you constantly and always being busy. And if you're always being busy and it's costing you, you will then see that sustainable success actually requires different systems if you're going to stay or more so progress past where you are. And so if any of resonates with you, you're curious, you got questions, you're not really sure what next, DMing me the word audit, head into the link in the bio, sending me a message, whatever the case may be, is the next step. This isn't a case of curiosity killed the cat. Curiosity is going to be the thing that's going to actually unlock and unleash the next thing for you. Because if you've been doing all these other things and it's not working, why not try something else that will work? And so, it's been Coach Lee, your productivity and accountability coach, here for another Sunday in the Success Starter series. We will continue this conversation, continue this topic next week. I might be at the airport. I don't know. I might be on my layover. I don't actually. I don't remember because Tulum, the time is different, and then the I don't know. But hopefully we'll be back same time, same place. Well, we won't be in the same place. Hopefully same time. I don't know. We'll figure it out. But y'all don't get this message no matter what. Stay tuned. We pick back up with the 10 unwritten rules every lawyer needs to break starting tomorrow, and we'll finish out the last 5 rules. But yeah, if you're tired of surviving your career, it's time to create systems that allows you to live your life. And I'm here to support you in doing that by helping you create a life that your career can't destroy. So until next time, Coach Lee is